I thought I can do it for another 10 years. I don't know, but back then I had this energy that I would maybe spend more than 15 hours a day.
Wow.
I was working like that for 3 years. Just thinking about Instagram and having screenshots. I wanted my YouTube to be active as well. I just thought life is not just about making characters. It's about travel.
Yeah,
It's about
good.
spending time with people and all of that.
So, I mean, dude, it's so cool. Yeah, you obviously are passionate and fun about, or having fun doing this, because there's so much of this boot that you don't even see in the Joel thing. I mean, you're not, like, there's a whole logo patch on the top of the tongue.
Yeah, if you look at it, it looks way more simpler.
It's still great, dude. Man, this is good, dude. But you have, like, the liner, yeah, in the pocket and everything. Yeah, bro.
I mean, look at his hand. It doesn't look good.
Still looks pretty good. But yeah, you can definitely see.
Yeah, you can definitely see that the shapes are looking better here compared to that one. And the details, even the details are looking better.
It seems like efficiency and everything is not entering your mind for the personal stuff. It's something we have to do for work, but yeah, you're just enjoying yourself and just doing more and more and more because it's fun. Hello and welcome to Pixel Peeps, where we take a deeper dive into some of today's best digital art and 3D models, along with the artists that made them. Today, we're talking with Hossein Diba, who has been an amazing character artist for a long time, very visible on social media. I'm sure a lot of people have seen one or more of his artworks. He does these incredibly realistic sometimes and sometimes stylized 3D characters, primarily in ZBrush, and as someone who's honed his craft for 15 plus years. Every time he put out an artwork, he just set the bar really high on what you can do with 3D modeling, with ZBrush, as we're gonna get to chat with him today on his process and kind of how he's coming out of a long grind of doing that and what keeps him going. Someone who's truly, truly passionate about 3D character modeling. Yeah, really inspirational in general to anyone that's into doing this. So we're going to talk about some things like that social media grind and how he's balancing things now, how he does things for himself now, which I found super inspirational and interesting, and along with how he's still progressing now, even after 15 plus years of doing it all the time. So yeah, if you want to take a closer look at the art we're discussing, which is going to be one of his latest pieces, his most recent one as of this, which is a fan art from The Last of Us show of Joel, which is incredible, full model. Take a look at the link in the description if you want to take a look at that while we discuss it, and along with his other links that I put in the description. So yeah, sit back, enjoy this chat with Hossein Diba. All right, so today we're going to be talking about how you made this. Obviously, Joel from Last of Us. And as we're talking, the new season just came out, and yeah, really excited to talk to you about this. I think when I messaged you, I mentioned, like, obviously a big fan. I've been following you for a while, and this seems like, in terms of the likeness, the rendering, the hair, the clothing, a full character, this seems like, you know, the current version of everything you've been doing and working on for so long. So yeah, excited to talk to you about it, and I think this is great. So yeah,
Sure.
maybe we could jump in. First, maybe just talk a little bit about what compelled you to decide to do this. This seems like a really big project, I would assume. These things are kind of commitments. So what kind of first gave you the idea and you thought, yeah, I'm going to make this, and I guess time it for the show and everything, right?
Yeah, I actually wanted to make him last season, but back then I got really busy. I actually started something, but couldn't finish it because I'm really a huge fan of the game. The hype was, killing me. I had to make him.
Awesome.
And yeah, I wanted to do the likeness of Pedro Pascal, but at the same time, I wanted to have the feeling of the Joel, the video game version.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if I achieved that or not, but
Yeah, that's cool to hear. So yeah, you're not just doing a straight up recreation of him from the show. You're kind of mashing it up even more from the
yeah,
vibe of the game. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, cool, dude.
yeah, the likeness obviously is Pedro Pascal, but
Yeah.
the overall feeling of the character.
Yeah, I don't even remember, like, is this an outfit he wore on the show too?
Yeah, everything is actually Googled a lot. What he was wearing, his boots, his jacket, everything. So as much as I could gather info and take screenshots from the show, this is as close as I could get to the real outfit he was wearing.
Dude, it's so sick. Okay, I can't wait to get into the details, but really quick, you mentioned that you had a project that you couldn't finish that you started last season. What was the reason? Are you just busy, or like what are the kind of reasons?
Yeah, the reason was that I got busy with other projects, professional projects. I felt like it was too much to finish it and share it while everyone is watching the show. So if I wanted to finish it back then, it would have been ended when the show was the first
Yeah.
season, or it wasn't aired anymore. I just wanted to get on the hype. Back then, I said, okay, I'll do it next season. And this time, I got lucky. I had more time.
And it was Pedro the first time too? Like, could you start with that file, or was it totally different? Okay.
Yeah, I actually made the Jewel the game version a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did Pedro a test. Just maybe I spent a day or two. Their textures were all from Joel, even the beard, everything, hairstyle. And back then we hadn't seen how Pedro Pascal looks. Yeah, I think it's right there. The likeness is really not great because I didn't spend much time on it. I just wanted to see how he will look like. Obviously, he doesn't have a full beard. This is all textures. Everything is from
This
Joel.
is like Pedro Pascal and Joel had a baby.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. You
So
can see, yeah, you can see Pedro's nose, but yeah, it's kind of a mashup. It's interesting, dude.
yeah, but it's not great because it was just a quick test.
And
But yeah,
that's your
the,
Joel, yeah.
yeah, the game version. It's for like 2020, 2021, something like that.
Yeah, 4 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
epic.
But this time I wanted to really nail everything,
Yeah,
do
dude,
the
you can tell. This looks like, maybe we can get into it and start looking at your model. This looks like photogrammetry, the
Thank you.
outfit.
Yeah, thank you for saying that because I really do the way I do clothes, I do sculpt is like I do likeness. It's important for me that the wrinkles look exactly the same as the reference. It makes it take a lot more time, but because this is personal project and I don't really, maybe back in the days I cared about sharing artworks every week, every I don't know if you remember or not, but 4 years ago, I was so active.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I would post a full body character in a week.
It's
And
crazy.
it was crazy because I was working on projects as well.
Whoa,
So,
dude.
yeah, it was crazy, and I back in 22, it was 22. I got this really bad back pain. It was like alarm. I had to just chill. And
A character art injury.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly. Because I love this so much, making characters. It's crazy. I just lose track of time. I'm sitting and working. I don't think about anything. I don't sometimes eat, so that's
Wow.
crazy. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just stand when I really have to. It was crazy, but I'm not like that anymore. I still love making characters, but I have more discipline.
Your
So
discipline is to slow down. That's what you're saying?
yeah,
Wow, dude.
I really don't care if I share it this month, next month. And sometimes you see
That's
I
good.
don't share any artwork in 4 months.
Yeah, yeah.
So gives me more time to focus on what I really want to do. I don't care about sharing it. So that
Seems
was,
healthier.
yeah, that helped me a lot. This is what I'm planning to do. I'm not gonna go back to because I sometimes shared stuff that I wasn't 100%. Yeah, I knew I could do it better, but because I wanted to be active on social media and I made videos of my characters too.
I
I
saw.
wasn't just thinking about Instagram and having screenshots. I wanted my YouTube to be active as well. So I spend a lot of time editing the videos, adding effects, everything. And it was crazy. I thought I can do it for another 10 years, but then
Yeah.
I realized I just have to keep it slow but steady.
Yeah, slow and
And
steady. Okay.
it gives me more time to focus on the quality and to achieve what I want before sharing my artwork.
Yeah, it sounds way better. And honestly, I thought back then, I figured you were just in between job. I thought you just turned this into your full-time job for a bit. you know, to like help build up to get another job. What did you hope to achieve? You know, like you grow your following and reach online that can lead to opportunities. Was that like the main driving force, or did you kind of get lost in the like you almost have like a fan base essentially because you were so active? And what did you feel was compelling you to like I need to post this week? Was it your own kind of goal?
My goal was to show my work to as many people as I can. That was the main goal,
Yeah.
because when you make an art where you put all that effort and nobody sees it, it's kind of discouraging because you want to show to people that what you can do and what you're capable of. Back then, I had this energy that I would maybe spend more than 15 hours a day for a long time. For maybe I was working like that for 3 years,
Wow.
and yeah, it actually started in COVID. You
Okay.
know,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
is yeah, a couple of my projects canceled. So at the beginning, it was it, and then I moved on, and it became a habit,
Mm-hmm.
and I had it for until 2022, 2023. But then I slowed down. I just thought life is not just about making characters. It's about travel. It's
Yeah.
about
Good.
spending time with people and all of that. So now it's more managed, I would say.
Yeah, you got a balance now that works. Definitely balance is important. I'm sure everyone can relate to that. Yeah, so interesting to hear. You almost were like addicted. You had to stop. It's the
Yeah.
opposite problem that some people have. So how long do you think this took you?
Yeah, I think I started this one around February. So, and
Whoa,
maybe 2 months.
two
Yeah,
months. But you
maybe.
have some things to start with, or no? Are you starting with like an empty scene, or do you have some base mesh
Uh,
or something?
Actually, do you remember I made the GTA characters two
Yep.
years ago?
Yep.
Jason, Lucia from the game that we are all
There we go.
waiting for. And I hope it comes out this year because I'm a huge fan of
I
GTA
think it
as well.
will. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Yes. So these are all I made these when we just the a video of the gameplay was leaked. I thought it would be cool to make them, and as I was doing that, I updated my base meshes and my workflow. So I thought there are two characters made female. This
Mm-hmm.
It's a good opportunity to update my workflow. And yeah, I remember these two also took a lot of time. And because I was trying to do everything from scratch. And now I'm using those base meshes for Jodia. I use the same base mesh.
Okay. And does that have any detail on it?
It has some very basic details,
Mm-hmm.
but I like to, sculpt everything again when I do, especially for likeness. Every detail on the face is unique for everyone, like the pattern of finger prints, and
Yeah. Well.
skin detail is also unique for everyone. So there is a base, like 30% of the skin detail is the same, but then the rest of it is, I should work on it again.
Well, do you mind opening up your file so we could take a look at what this behemoth looks like?
So let me just break this.
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. Maybe we start with the skin details, and then I just want to get to the clothes, stitches, and hair are the main things I want to talk to you about. But yeah,
Sure.
it'd be great to see what the details look like. And how are you rendering this? How's the final image being made, basically?
For this one, I decided not to take this to Marmoset. I will do it later, but for now, I get the renders in ZBrush. Yeah, I take different passes, like 10, 15 passes in ZBrush, and then combine it in Photoshop and do touch-ups over there. But yeah, I'm
That's
planning
crazy, dude.
to take it to Marmoset as well.
Wow. Okay. So let's start with like, big to small shapes. So you mentioned accuracy. That's the thing about likeness. Sometimes up and comers will ask, like, what's the secret? What's the key? And it'd be good just to hear your workflow. But basically, I think people underestimate how the number one thing that's important is accuracy, however you can get there. And so oftentimes it's a lot of different ways, like just straight up measuring things, bringing in reference images, lining things up, tracing, paint overs, all that stuff. The more accurate you can get, the better. So what's that look like for you when you're working on a likeness sculpt?
Well, first thing that I look for when I want to make lightness is I have to have, I spend a lot of time to find perfect references without expressions at first.
Mhm.
And then I do in neutral pose, but not exactly, the likeness is not exactly 100% there, but I try to get close. And then when I'm happy with the neutral version, and they I put it in pose. And then when I put it in pose, a lot more stuff is done again on top of that, and things change a lot. I think when we are in motion, muscles are different, and that makes the likeness look not the same. So
Mhm.
the final touches come when I do the character impose, and it really depends on the purpose. If it's purpose of the project, if it's personal project, I used to make my characters imposed like Monica Bellucci
Yeah.
and Khalisi. I don't have a pose, T pose version of that. But recently, if I spend more time, I usually prefer to have at least a simple A pose version of the character as well. I could use these boots again. I could
Ah,
use jacket again. The final touches are done on the post version, and this is where I even change wrinkles of the clothes, change likeness, hairstyle, everything.
that's yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, you're thinking of like your own library, which is crazy. That's like what a studio would do for a game or something. Start building a library.
It is too heavy right now.
Yeah, that's good to see, dude. I want to see that. Okay, so the likeness, you're spending for something like this, after you get the likeness kind of there, you pose it, you get it in this pose, and then you're gonna finish it in this pose. How much time is it in the pose? It's still days and days, and I assume you're doing asymmetrical sculpting even in a neutral thing because that's important to the likeness at some point, right? You do have to just
Yeah, I usually do asymmetric even for neutral versions because it doesn't look the same, you know.
yeah.
It takes more time, but then again, it makes it look more believable. Yeah, for this one, I think maybe half of the time I spend on a pose and half of the time on the posed version. Because everything changed, you know,
Yeah,
wrinkles
yeah. And
changed.
you're making it again. I mean, you're making it twice. I mean, you can tell you're passionate by your output, but to me, it's great. That you don't have a mindset of like, what's the most efficient way? You're not shying away from making things more than once. And
And this project is still, you know, work in progress because what I had in mind and I wanted to share it by the time you know, second season is on the air, was that I wanted to make the game version Joel as well standing here
mm,
and then pointing the gun at him, and
oh,
it
cool,
was like,
cool.
yeah, it was like both of them being in a, you know, maybe in a parallel universe.
Yeah.
I just watched the TV show Dark Matter.
No, I didn't watch it, but I'm kind of familiar with.
Yeah, the idea is that there are multiple universes
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it enter into, it's a great show, and they enter into a new universe. They see themselves and stuff like that. I thought maybe they're both these the Joels from different universe, but they
yeah,
come into one.
yeah. And now they're
And
like, oh shit.
yeah, that looks great. And what's gonna be their reaction? Are they gonna be friends or enemies and stuff like that?
Yeah,
Yeah, a small piece of a bigger picture, and I'm planning to do some environment as well. But that's gonna take a long time.
yeah.
But I'm
It,
taking my,
it's it shows everyone that everyone's scope is big, and your scope is just so big that when you fall short, you still get a full fucking awesome character, which is crazy. Your idea also reminded me of. Did you ever watch The Prestige? That movie?
yeah, yeah, I was it.
All right, cool. Yeah, you remember the first time he makes a clone and he goes, no, 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 and he shoots him. That's what
Yeah,
made me
yeah.
think of that.
If I think when I was 15 or 16, I
I love
don't,
that movie.
years ago, yeah, but I loved the movie. It was great.
But yeah, that's a fun idea.
Yeah, I did
Um,
the thing with Jokers, you know.
oh yeah.
I'm planning to do the same thing here as well.
All right. So back to likeness really quick. Do you use or do you have a preference between like how are you using reference images? What kind of like tools, tips, and techniques do you have to get things accurate? Are you ever bringing in some kind of reference plane? Do you use Spotlight? I don't know, anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. At first, I try to match everything with eyes without
Yeah.
using plane or anything like that. But then, when I want to make sure that this looks just the way I want and everything is where it should be, that's when I use plane to check everything. So that's the last thing I do on the likeness.
Yeah, and I've done something like that, and I've heard other artists talk about that. It seems
Yeah.
to be a better approach is to start with the with your eye, and you're kind of using your reference to like check your work. I think that helps so that obviously you have to practice for a while before you get there, but I think it ourselves have a way of like kind of balancing things, and then when you're checking against reference, it kind of nudges it closer to accuracy, and then you can again use your own eye and intuition and then you check again. I think that is a it seems like what people do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
All right, so what about the details? How are you doing that? Are you using any kind of like V face or do you use brushes or do you, what are you doing for the tiny details there?
Yeah, I have made some custom alphas. I also use different alphas that I gathered over the years from the net. So some are custom brushes, some are alphas, but I haven't used V-Face for this one or other recent characters. So these are mostly details are with
Oh yeah,
alphas.
hand put. You're putting it on there by hand in the high poly. Or I
Yeah,
guess this is the whole high poly, yeah.
yeah, for most stuff, I don't even have alphas. Like the wrinkles here, these are
Yeah.
all standard brush, damn standard.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
because like I said, this looks different for each person, so
Yeah.
easier just to do it with brushes.
And not ever using HD geometry, right? Just straight up subdividing the head. You split the head off so you can get high.
No, I don't. Actually, it's just one full body character, and
Oh shit.
let me how much? It's
Wow.
41 million. Yeah.
41 million. Okay.
It's enough for what I'm looking for.
That's not
And
as high as you as I might think actually.
no, no,
Yeah,
it's not. I think the
that's good to
jacket, even his
yeah.
jacket had more polygons. It's crazy.
Wow.
I think the jacket, yeah, it's 64 million. The thing with this project was that I wanted to do everything in ZBrush, like fabric details,
Dude, so crazy, bro.
yeah, stitches and everything, because I wanted to first present my character in ZBrush.
You knew the whole time you were going to do that?
No, I use Substance for texturing outfits for when I want to take characters to Marmoset and stuff like that.
I
But
just mean on this project, did you know I'm going to finish it in ZBrush? Like I'm going to render it in ZBrush.
yeah, at first I knew because what I had in mind, I was sure I'm not gonna finish it in 2 months, 3 months. So I split it into different parts. So first doing Pedro Pascal Joel in ZBrush, share it, then do Joel game version. I'm gonna update that as well.
Zoom into the buttons, dude. I saw you hid your name. You got your name in there. I see.
So many pages share your work without giving proper credit.
I like, yeah, even if anyone steals it, dude, you'll see it on the buttons. And also, like, you're in there. I can imagine you're thinking, like, you're in there. You're like, I need to do a button detail. It's got to say something. And then,
I did
yeah, you might as well hide your name in there.
Yeah, I did the same thing with GTA characters. I put my logo on back of his cap.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do that sometimes. I said maybe someone will see my name if someone shares it without giving credit.
we saw it.
And yeah, so my plan is to do game version as well, but this time I want to make him look he's coming from our universe, not the game universe. So the features should be more realistic. The one I did before was just I wanted to recreate the game version, but now I want to take it further and try to put it in the same universe as Pedro Pascal is. Yeah, my plan is to do that as well. Put it in pose, put them together in one scene, and after all of this is done, I'm gonna take them to Marmoset for real time rendering.
I
Yeah,
mean, this is just just a moment here. It's like this is an incredible model in ZBrush, man. It's got to
thank you.
be up there. I mean, it's really, really crazy to see. I want to ask a little bit more about the details, but first, maybe you could say, just reflecting back on this project, what was the most challenging or difficult thing about this one for you?
I think it was maybe it was the pose because I only had a reference. I think you have seen the poster. It's from
Yeah.
the first season. This is all we have right there, and
Yeah.
Ellie is back there
Mm-hmm.
here. Yeah, this is all I had, but I wanted to make it believable for full body and also believable from all angles. And so I saw another poster of this again, same first season, that he's looking the other way and he has his sniper here and he's putting his hand on the gun like he's ready to go. So I combined those two posters. This turned out actually maybe better than I expected.
Yeah, really great. It does look good at all angles for sure.
Yeah, because
I think
it
you
has.
captured them in movement.
Yeah, exactly. It has the Last of Us vibe. Like he's ready to go, and who's the enemy, but he's ready.
All right. Well, back to the model. How did you? Are the stitches? It's crazy you did this in 2 months too. By the way, this is crazy amount of work. I guess the jacket. Yeah, you can do the boot. Yeah, sure. The jacket, the boot, the pants. They have stitches. Are they separate models so that you can keep it crispy without the poly count, or are you? Is it a combination of kind of brush alpha or in
No,
general
these
how
are
you doing stitches?
yeah, but these are all custom brush alphas I made.
So is it a curve brush or no? Like, are you moving verts or is it a separate mesh? Okay, no. So it's
Yeah, obvious.
verts.
It's just some brushes I made. I wanted to do it, in separate mesh, but the poly count of the model is already crazy,
Yeah.
and that yeah, I think I couldn't. My mashing couldn't handle that if I wanted to put meshes for these as well. But it works fine.
Yeah, it works great. I
Yeah.
think honestly doing stitches this way most of the time is more than enough. I think a lot of people just want to make them separate for some for some reason, but in general, I think it's good. I mean, the fact that they had different colors is what made me think you did it separate, but that means you're so same thing on the pants. Yeah, so you're actually moving a brush down. It has poly paint on there. I just want people to really like respect what's going on here because you have a brush that has the stitches, and so
Mm-hmm.
you have to do it in one stroke. So you get the scale, you get the depth right, and you're gonna drag it, and then when you stop dragging, you have to connect it, and it has color on there so that it looks separate. That means that you have to have the color of the pants done up until the stitches because you can't. It's like a destructive way to do it where
Exchange.
you can't just go whoops. Yeah, like you have to
Yeah.
commit, and there's something about that. I don't know. Do you think there's some benefits to that, or do you just prefer?
I usually wouldn't do it this way, or actually, I would have it in layers. I actually do have it in layers because if I don't want it, I will remove it and do stitches in Substance or other applications. For this project, I actually made all pieces of clothes in separate ZBrush files and in APOS.
Ah,
And then sculpted in apos, boots, everything. But the boots I have there is very clean. There's no dirt on it. It's brand new.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But when I put it in a pose and in the same scene, I just merged all those layers, fabric details, everything is merged in, and because
Got
it
it.
yeah, yeah, it's more practical. And if I want to
Yeah.
3D print it later, as I'm planning to do later, it's easier because all details are on the sculpt. And I don't have to worry because I have another file. There are layers and I can remove it as well.
Okay, so the 3D printing might be the reason for that question. But yeah, just to sum up then, this makes sense. So you made the pants, you made the boots in their own file in a
Well,
neutral pose so you could focus on it, and you're adding the poly paint, you're finishing it essentially to an extent. Then when you bring it in here, you can pose them, and then so now when you're resculpting the wrinkles, like you're dropping down subdivision so it's low, and you're resculpting the wrinkles, but the detail, the stitches, they're already there.
yeah, exactly. And I did something crazy for the whole full body as well. After I did stitches with alphas, I looked at it and I said, nah, it doesn't look as real as I wanted it to look. And then I sculpted on top of it for every stitches
Whoa.
full body. So I used like dam standard
Yeah.
to kind of give it more depth.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I use a standard brush again to kind of, it should affect the fabric more.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Definitely.
there. Yes, so I did that as well, especially on the jacket. It's
Yeah.
kind of obvious that it gets in and out.
Yeah, great. It really, I love doing that too, but you do have to do it by hand because there's no magic
Exactly.
roller
You
brush or whatever. Yeah,
want
but it's really
and
makes it feel believable.
exactly. It took me maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 days to just do that for the full body.
Yeah, dude. That's how you make dope stitches. Commitment, love it. I guess because of the 3D printing, but I don't know why not for the micro detail, why not just use damn dude, the fiber mesh on the knuckles, bro. God, we're gonna get to fiber mesh. But the micro detail on the pants and the clothes and everything, why not just use ZBrush's surface noise thing? Because I think it would render, right? So that way you're not limited to the polygons. You could bring in some tiling micro detail and you wouldn't have to apply it that way. It's lighter and it would render and everything. So just curious, why like apply the actual tiny detail to the mesh? Any reason?
You mean using what? Nanomesh, you said?
No, the noise, what is it, surface you have on the right, surface, if you do
Yeah,
noise. Yeah.
yeah, for fabric details, I use noise. Yeah, for
But
the base details,
uh-huh.
and then I applied it on the mesh, and then for fabric details in the original file that I have layers, there are two, three different passes of details.
Ah, uh-huh. Uh-huh.
One is just for that tiled
Yeah.
fabric detail, and the other one is like to make it like it has been weird by him for years. It looks old and
Cool.
stuff like that. So for details, I think I combined 3 layers.
Okay. Would you be able or willing to maybe open up like the jacket, for instance, like the neutral version, just so we could see where it comes from, or like the first thing that you make, kind of thing, or maybe the boot or something? Like it would be cool to see some of
Yeah,
your files like that.
the jacket, for example, it doesn't look as good as this because it's
I
in.
know that would be good to see though, because this looks crazy. But I think it'd be nice to see like where I'm sure it still looks good.
Do you want the jacket or boots? I can open both.
Yeah, both would be great. Oh wow, yeah, that looks great.
Okay, yeah, this is like brand new version of it.
Yeah, but I'm just checking here. So yeah, damn. So I mean, dude, it's so cool. Yeah, you obviously are passionate and fun about or having fun doing this because there's so much of this boot that you don't even see in the Joel thing. I mean, you're not like there's a whole logo patch on the top of the tongue.
Yeah, actually, at first I thought I didn't know that the boots are this long because the pants comes on it on top of it and you don't see it. But the
Yeah.
wrinkles, when I was taking screenshots of the show, the wrinkles looked funny, and I thought maybe there's something beneath. So I
Mm-hmm.
took a
Mm-hmm.
screenshot
Oh
video, and
yeah.
yeah, I realized this is very long. I actually found the exact same model he's
Yeah,
wearing.
I
And
was gonna ask that. It sounds like you found the exact model that he wears. And really quick, just because I think it's interesting because you just said it. Really interesting to me. You said you noticed the wrinkles were strange,
yeah,
and now that I'm looking at it, yeah, you can see the back foot. It gives it a kink in the pants because of how
exactly.
high this boot is. Nobody would know exactly why, but or maybe someone would, but yeah, that's just another testament to how far we're going with the accuracy and the detail. That it adds something. Just the fact that there's longer boots here.
Yeah, exactly. And because I have done likeness for years, and I have done stylized characters, creatures, even hard surface of it. But 90% of the clients I have had over the years are offering me to make likeness.
Yeah.
So I don't even know how many people I've sculpted so far. I think it's huge numbers. So that made me to do everything like I do likenesses. So when I want to make a boots, everything should look exactly like the reference I'm using. I don't care about other models, other versions of the same boots. The one I used, the one I found more references of, it should look like that. So that's how I do clothes as well. And I pay a lot of attention why wrinkles are looking like that.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that's why
The
I
laces too, dude. This is yeah. How long does it take to make a boot like this? It would take me a while.
I think it would. It took me a good week, maybe. Yeah,
A week's pretty
maybe.
healthy, but it sounds like you got some long days there. But you're
Yeah,
also fast. I mean, you've been doing this for a while. But this is incredible, you know? Yeah. All
and
right. Well,
yeah,
what about, oh, there's the layers. Yeah. Okay.
so just let me turn it off. So the stitches are gone now,
All right. Yeah.
and there are two passes of details for this one.
Mm-hmm. Little wrinkles.
And yeah, now and if you can see, I've used for this one I used textures from the reference as well. So
Mm-hmm.
and then I sculpted on top of that in this pass. See,
Mm-hmm.
this is without those tiny
Oh, I
uh
see.
the leather details
Yes, I see. Okay.
after that. Yeah,
So like projecting from an image and then using that as a kind of a guide for sculpting the details.
yeah, exactly. I spend a lot of time for here as well.
Yeah, on the
Nobody's.
bottom. Dude, yeah, that's crazy, bro.
I don't even know why. I thought, okay, this is a project for itself. I
Yeah.
just,
You can't help
uh,
yourself.
yeah, I thought I have to make it look good because it's a boot that I can use on other characters as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's a project. This boot is a project in of itself. This is a great. If you just stopped at the boot, it would be fine.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
yeah, you went the whole way. Yeah, wow, wow, wow.
Okay,
And you did the same for the jacket.
exactly. I'll go on the jacket as well. I think that's a bit more heavier.
Yeah,
64.
64 million.
I don't even know why the jacket has more polygons than the actual character itself.
Is it thick? Did you give it thickness and literally double everything, or is it just thick
No,
around the rim, or is it actually like there's a full wall all the way around?
at some part of the inner parts of the jacket, I made those as well. Not the whole thing, but some parts that I thought maybe we can see it. Yeah, maybe that's why
I think
it's.
when you give it thickness, it's a lot more than you think, you know, because it's like doubling it. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is the jacket.
Nice. Again, it looks great. It really does look like it could be a scan.
Yeah, if you look at it, it looks way more simpler than.
It's still great, dude. Man, this is good, dude.
And I actually made, you see the sleeves here?
Yeah.
It's closed, but in the show, I didn't find him mirroring sleeves that are closed. It's always open. So for the posed version, I opened the sleeves.
Wow.
And some part of it is also
Okay, yeah, you did delete some, but yeah, but you have like the liner, yeah, and the pocket and everything. Yeah, bro.
because we can see it in the pose. It's,
Yeah.
and I don't know why I made that, but
I had to hang it up, dude. Wow. Yeah, shit. Um, okay, two questions. One is the base mesh for this kind of thing. Are you sketching something quick and then using Z remesher to make what will eventually be the what is subdivided? Or are you starting with, or how do you
yeah,
make,
I
yeah, how do you make this subdivision
show.
level one? Yeah.
So this is the base mesh. I made the base mesh in 3D Studio Max,
Okay.
and I for UVs I use Maya and 3D Studio Max as well. I just go back and forth in each application. It's weird, I use Maya sometimes, but for because I'm used to 3D Studio Max,
Okay.
I use 3ds Max for years. I think it has been when I
20,
started 10 years ago, maybe
10
something
years.
like.
Back in the Evolve days. We used Max on Evolve.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was 2009 or something, 2008. Yeah,
2007, dude, that's 18 years ago, bro.
yeah. It was. So I'm used to it, and I use it
Yeah.
for polygon modeling. But then for UVs, I'm used more to Maya. So
Yeah, Max's UVs are atrocious, bro.
but yeah, yeah, it's not book.
But you like, is it the thing about Max? Is it the modifier stack? Is that why you like it so much?
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know, for polygon modeling, it's easier for me. I'm not saying Max is better or Maya is better. I'm just used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, for textures, I also use Modbox. I use Photoshop. I use Substance. I use ZBrush. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah, I use
Whatever,
everything.
whatever gets the job done.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's a clean base mesh. Great. So you do make it. in DCC and bring it in. That's good to know. All right, now the details and stuff. Are you using any stamps, alphas, tools other than the straight up sculpting? I know it's a combination, but is there, for like the memory wrinkles or some breakup? You got something there, and how do you texture this? How are you getting colors on this?
So this one is polypainted ZBrush.
And what
Uh,
is that? Just like a standard brush, like a soft brush? You're airbrushing it, or do you actually
no,
use images ever?
I use alphas on for when painting. I use alphas and
Okay.
like small. Let's say this one. I don't use
Yeah.
this one, but let's say this one, and then I just paint it over.
Yeah.
And when it's
Okay.
done, yeah, when it's done, I without alphas, I try to do it without any alphas and paint more colors, dirt colors and stuff like that. And for dirt, I also use alphas as well. And it's just easy in Google. You can get lots of free stuff by
Mm-hmm.
just searching.
Yeah, and if you have Substance Painter, like you say, I mean, you could kind of steal stuff
Yeah.
from their own library too.
So let me just turn these off. You see, this one is very basic.
Yeah, but it's crazy. You have enough polygon detail to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
It's a lot of polygons. Yeah, this is the polypaint.
Oh yeah, there's
It's
a lot of nuance in there though.
it's really simple. Some
Still, just the amount of like you have to with a brush do this like over the whole thing.
when you use alphas, it's really it doesn't take that much.
But it is painting by hand. It's not like in Painter you can just cover the whole thing
Yeah, yeah,
easily.
it's painting by hand. And
Yeah.
the thing is that sometimes I just do things old stuff because I don't know the new methods sometimes. But
Yep. Yep.
I try to keep myself updated, and I've learned, Substance. I think I learned Substance 2 years ago. Everybody was using it, and everybody was saying, "Dude, why are you doing your textures in ZBrush? You can use it." And then I used it, and I said, "Wow, it
Yeah.
saves."
It saves so much time. And like from what you just talked about, again, you're like delivering this project in ZBrush. So, and it seems like a real passion project. I mean, that's what I'm taking away here. I mean, you're going above and beyond at the time, and like what you spoke about before, you're doing the opposite of giving yourself a time limit. It seems like you're enjoying yourself and just making
Exactly.
it. Like it
Yeah,
seems like yeah.
this usually happens on, well, most of the time it happens on personal projects because when clients want something, they don't give you 2 months or, go crazy and spend a lot of time on your models. There's usually, deadlines,
Mm-hmm.
and also they prefer, most clients prefer their own methods, their own
Mm-hmm.
base measures. So I use their base measures and I do things the way they want me to do. And yeah, but for my own projects, I just take my time and use whatever I'm comfortable with.
Yep.
And I do stuff that I like, because if I make something that I don't like and I share it on my portfolio, I get projects about the same thing that I don't like.
There you
So
go.
yeah, everything I share on my portfolio is something that I'm passionate to do for clients as well.
Yes, man. I think that's a great thing to hear and a great tip for everyone that's interested in ever doing paid work. You got to be really think about what you're putting on your portfolio because that's the message you're sending out is you want to keep doing that. So make sure you would like to keep doing it.
Exactly, because let's be honest, if we don't like what we do, especially in this line of work, we will be miserable
Yeah.
no matter what, and because it takes a lot of time, the passion should be right there when doing everything.
Yeah, man. And you got that, no doubt about it. I love seeing all the things that didn't even show up in the final work. This little question that I like to ask is just is there anything about this project that surprised you or anything you feel like you're taking away with you? Anything that you learned or anything that you're like, oh, wow, just about this one that you might take on your future projects?
Yeah, I think for UVs, yeah, I for doing UVs, I came up with easier ways to, make it the details. Try to make details look good on especially the fabric details, because I had this problem a couple of years ago that I just quickly did my UVs the details didn't look right
Yeah.
because the seams, the cut was not on the seams, or the UVs were parted in places it shouldn't be. Like I said, because I wanted to present it in ZBrush, I tried to do the UVs as clean as possible for everything. And it paid off because in adding details, it was a lot quicker. It was a lot
Yeah.
easier.
Because if you lay out your islands like the patterns would be and in the right direction and they're all the same scale, you can add tiling textures and it looks like fabric. Awesome,
Yeah.
dude.
Also, I can, for example, open the rock file. That's
Okay.
one of the projects that when I shared it, everybody was crazy about it. And I just want to mention something. Back then, when I shared the rock, everybody was saying, "Wow, this looks good. This looks better than him." And how can you, make things look better? Yeah, the likeness looks good. The muscles look good, and everything. I even just extracted these
I love
uh
the water. Yeah.
yeah, in ZBrush, and then took it to Marmoset to do everything else. Things that I have been improving since then. I think I shared it back in 2022, 3 years ago. I mean, look at his hand. It doesn't look good.
Still looks pretty good, but compared to the rest, yeah, sure. Room
Yeah, but
room for improvement.
just want to show you the hands of Pedro Pascal side by side with this one right now. Anatomy is something that I'm spending more time. And when you hit the likeness and the overall shapes are there, the muscles are there, things that you have to take to next level is one of the things is anatomy of small details like fingers, things that maybe we wouldn't pay that much attention when you're doing full body characters. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to, yeah, make everything look good.
It makes sense. It's like the natural progression. Obviously, the face is a priority, things like hair and skin. But as you continue to grow, it's the things that are not as high up on the list. But yeah, you can definitely see.
Yeah, you can definitely see that the shapes are looking better here
Yeah.
compared to that one. And the details, even the details are looking better.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue though, the difference here is small. I think it's really important. But I would
Um,
I would bet people just getting into this would obviously love to be able to achieve the old one. But it's great to illustrate the growth at this level because the level you're at, it's like smaller incremental things
Mhm.
that are easier for you to identify. But yeah, I think the palm, the inside is even more noticeable. Yeah, I mean, look at the thing on the thumb, that little how there's that dip, in the thumb,
Yeah, exactly.
the
And
pad. Yeah,
yeah, and because these are very similar poses, I thought it would be good to just show the comparison of something that I sculpted like 3 years ago and a hand that it's not like that I couldn't do a better job back then on the hands. It's maybe it's kind of neglected sometimes, but what I try to do now is that to take my time on every details. And I have this habit, it's a bit crazy, but I want to make my model look good from all the angles and from places that people won't even see. It's crazy.
that's what I'm noticing.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I'm noticing.
Because nobody would pay attention to his hands. His sleeves come right up here.
That's what I was thinking. I think it'd be like this is a great illustration, but to continue what you're talking about, if you could open up the final pose version, then people could be reminded like where the sleeve goes. You're going so far, and you're working on things and holding yourself to a really high standard in
Mhm.
areas that will not be seen.
Exactly. And back of the head, for example.
Hmm.
Most of the times I used to not even share screenshots of back of the head, but maybe because I started YouTube and I made all those videos, real-time videos of my characters, I had to do my characters from all the angles. Maybe that's what made this obsession, but now I have to make my characters look good from all the angles.
Yeah, it has to work. It's like going from 2D to video or something. You got to make
Exactly.
it work now. Yeah, man, but this is a whole nother level. That's why I think it'd be great for to remind people like, yeah, just show that hand we were just looking at. I mean, look, it is crazy, man. I don't know. You're like a good kind of crazy where it worked out. It's good.
You don't even see that.
No, dude, you don't see all of what we were looking at almost. You just see the fingers. I mean, but
Exactly.
that's the thing is it's definitely it's whatever this is, it's tied to what has made you the kind of artist you are and you know the kind of quote unquote successful kind of art whatever you want to say, right? But like you're holding yourself to such a high standard and you're treating the inside of the you're treating parts of this hand that you'll never see to the same level as the parts you do see. And I think there's something about that. It seems very pure that you're just, you know, you're going to sculpt on this hand and that's your project for now. And it
Exactly.
seems like efficiency and everything is not entering your mind for the personal stuff. It's something we have to do for work, but yeah, you're just enjoying yourself and just doing more and more and more because it's fun. And there's something pure, really pure about that compared to what you were talking about earlier. That can get toxic, you know, like people feeling compelled to post online. Like you even mentioned that you
Yeah.
did publish some work sometimes that you weren't personally proud of, and
Exactly.
that can eat away at you. And you're kind of doing things for the wrong reasons. You could say this is the opposite, and I think this is healthy too. If you're enjoying yourself and you're doing art for yourself, honestly, that's like the ultimate. Like if someone made art the best of their ability and like never showed anyone and they just enjoyed the whole process making it, that's like the purest kind of creation that there could be. So to me
Exactly.
that's my main takeaway from this. It's really great to see that you're it's not just smoke and mirrors, like you're literally going to the ends of the earth on your personal work because you're passionate about it.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the reasons was that I was in hurry to, share artworks because I thought maybe growing followers is really important as much as growing, the quality of your work. Social media is becoming like a trap. So if you spend so much time on it, and just want to share something because you just want to share something, that's it. Your work is not in a place that you want to share it. You're not 100% satisfied with it. It didn't happen on all the projects maybe, but half of the project I shared 3 4 years ago, I still thought it could get better. And the thing is that there are works that I wasn't satisfied with, and those works got lots of attentions. And those works went viral. People, it's weird for me. Sometimes you spend 2 3 months on a character and share it, nobody cares.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just spend 3 days, 2 days on a character, and it gets crazy. It gets viral, and everybody sees that, and it's kind of dangerous for your growth as well, because maybe people will say, okay, this is his skills is that much. He can't do these crazy stuffs we have in mind. For me now, it's more important to share artworks that I'm happy with, even if it's just a portrait, even if it's just a ZBrush without taking it to render Marmoset for rendering or anything. It should be where I'm happy with. Then I share it. It doesn't matter how long it takes.
I'm happy to hear that. I think that is a healthy attitude, and I think means a lot coming from you because in what we do, yeah, you were out there and very active and could easily use that as a model. So to hear yourself say like, you know, I'm kind of rethought that or have a different priority, it's good to see. It's motivational for everyone else that's doing this.
Yeah, and also for people, I'm not saying social media is not important for me. Obviously, it is, because having
Yeah.
an audience makes you, it motivates you to make art even more.
Mm.
But people should be aware of it. The algorithm that is out there right now, it's in a way that it just works with your behavior. So if you share artworks uh, every week, you have to do it for years and years without stop, because if you stop it, you will lose all those followers you gain, if not all of those, maybe a big chunk of it. So if you want to share artworks regularly, like a week or a month, you should keep doing that. That's what I learned, because I used to be so active, and then I gave it up for like 2 3 years now. and I'm seeing that I'm not for example, in Instagram, I'm not even growing
Yeah,
because
I mean,
it's
I've seen a lot of Instagram seems to have stopped growing everywhere too. I don't know how that shit works, but I think yeah, in general, I think finding that happy balance like you're at where you're gonna make stuff you're proud of, and
more.
obviously we share it, we want people to see it, but letting like what you want to do be the driver and not like what fucking Instagram wants, I think is the way to do it.
Exactly what.
Yeah. Before we wrap up, I'd love to touch on the hair and then maybe the rendering. So the hair, dude, like I've long gazed at your work as you posted it, and I there's very many where I think, is this fucking fiber mesh, dude? You got to be the fiber mesh god, bro. I mean, I don't understand how you must have learned some stuff. You must have saved some presets. I don't know. Maybe you could just talk a bit about fiber mesh. Like you're getting the best results from fiber mesh that anybody has seen. So what I don't know, what's the main thing or yeah, in general, talk
Yeah,
about some
so
fiber mesh.
yeah, for example, if you see this pass,
Yeah.
uh, it has groups. It's grouped in.
Yeah, so like kind of big clumps.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it makes it easier because I can hide places I don't want to focus on and
Yeah.
then just focus on parts that I want. That's what gives me control on the fibers. And yeah, I can just spend as much time as I want. For example, you see here, it doesn't
Yep.
look great here. So
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that happens, yeah.
yeah, I covered those parts with other passes, smaller passes on top of that. And yeah, usually it's not just one single pass of fibers, but this one right there is one.
So this is one subtool.
Yeah.
And do you usually have more than one subtool?
Almost all the times. Yeah, because
Okay.
especially for a hairstyle like this, it's crazy post-apocalyptic hair, and it changes every time they walk in the woods or stuff like that. So it should look messy. For hair like that, I you have to make it more than one subtool. It's impossible to have it in one pass because
Yeah.
you want to have thinner hair. You want to have maybe a pass of wavy hair on top of that. You can't do that in one subtool.
No.
Uh, I think the craziest hair I've done recent years was the one for Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
Yeah, that was crazy, man. It took me
I'm
a
looking
lot.
right now, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was more challenging than this one.
Yeah, man, it's just because fiber mesh is just it'd be cool if they made it better. There's also a thing about fiber mesh is like there's a moment where you have to change it. Well, maybe not. You tell me. But for me, there's like a moment where it goes from fiber mesh to geo, kind of. You know, you have to because it's like dynamic. When you start, it's dynamic, and you hit apply and all that. But then there can be a moment when essentially it just turns into polygons, right? And then you're using normal brushes now. That's how you can smear like the one you show, where like now because when it's fiber mesh, the strands can never change thickness and stuff. And you can still do some fiber meshy things, and then there's a moment where it turns into a model, and then that's destructive again, right?
Yeah, and actually sometimes for this one as well, I put a passive mesh as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Some of it, let me show you.
yeah,
See the
yeah.
hair line. These are all fiber mesh. It's back of the neck.
Yeah. So it's its own. Yeah. So you have to break it up into parts.
Yeah, but there's also mesh as well. Where's this one?
So it's like a volume kind of mesh.
Oh yeah, just some small mesh as well.
And is that how you're doing some of the gray hair? Oh, okay, yeah, that's for the detail right there. Gotcha. Yep. Cool.
Yeah, because it helps to, combination of these two makes the renders, because I can apply different materials to this pass, for example,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
it makes it stand out and the render better. And yeah, the final result is good. I didn't have to make those passes because this one actually is holding up. It has what I need, but sometimes I just do that.
And
Uh,
was that big chunk one that was made the whole time as one subtool, one fiber mesh, or was it combined at some point?
No, it
The
was
big piece.
no, because it's grouped. You know,
Yeah,
see there are
yeah.
so many groups,
Mhm.
so it's just easy to do it.
The eyebrows too of all your characters, I mean, you kind of cracked that a long time ago, but I assume a lot of your work has fiber mesh eyebrows. But eyebrows
Yeah,
are like very particular too. You have to get that right, the shape, the thickness, the amount.
yeah, exactly. That's also the same method as hair. But yeah, most of the times I don't even do the mesh part. I just do the whole thing with fiber mesh. But when I have more time, because fiber mesh is quicker for me. For meshes that I apply, I just extract it from the head, for example, and then I do it in individual hairs. I place it one by one.
Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it takes a lot of time, but if I have time, I will do it for my projects as well. But you can go doing it without. You can get good results as well.
Yeah, same. I was thinking when you're talking about breaking into parts, that was a big thing with XGen too, is breaking your grooms up into different, kind of clumps or however you want to call it, different collections in XGen. But yeah, to make the final effect.
You know what would be crazy if we could make eyes looking like that, having that parallax effect in ZBrush?
Yeah, that would
Does
be
that?
great.
It doesn't
No,
exist.
not the actual parallax. No, I think having darker eyed characters like this too, it's not as noticeable. But yeah, if you had a light eyed character,
Yeah, but
because it can't do glass, it can't do actual refraction is the
eh,
problem.
yeah, if we could do that, it would be crazy.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I'm waiting for Maxon bought Zebra, so I've been waiting for like, how come when we press Shift R, it's not just Redshift rendering our shit with real materials? Like, I assume eventually it will be like that. So
Yeah,
speaking of rendering, I bet a lot of people are not too familiar, but it would be cool to see if you happen to have the Photoshop document or just maybe some examples of the layers. Like the way you make these images is something. It's another unique part that you've worked on for a long time. Yeah, there's not very many people at all in the world that can get that
yeah, I
quality.
think I combined the layers. Yeah, once I just did the renders, I combined all those layers and did a quick touch ups in Photoshop and just merged the whole thing. I do
Okay,
have the
gotcha.
Yeah, I do have the high quality renders. Then
Yeah,
you
if you have any passes or anything like that you spit out that you import into Photoshop too, it'd be cool to see. You said you had like 10 to 12 passes. Like, I don't even know. I guess it'd be a lot of lights to fill in to make it look more like global illumination.
Yeah, the passes are. I can show you right here. For example, I just turn colors off,
You
and
got, you got, and you got the little wet tear line, by the way. For like calling that out. That's awesome.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
a little water on the lower lid.
Yeah, exactly. I did that in a separate layers again to turn it off. When I do passes, I try to, change lighting. For example, I get one pass like this, get one from here, get one from this side, and get one from here. And then for rim lights, you have to just choose when you want the light to come from and just change the intensity more. Let's just get back. And then when I get all those layers, I just get the final layer of reflection.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, this is the same for in the same for fabric for skin, but in
Yeah.
Photoshop I just get rid of this and keep the face and not all part of it, just eyes, lips, stuff like that.
Okay. So it's most of the passes are lighting direction, and then you have the reflection pass. Are you doing ambient occlusion as a pass?
Exactly, yeah. I do ambient occlusion as well. And when I want to get ambient, I just put the lights on top like that. And then I get a passive ambience as well. Just uh, merge all those layers in Photoshop. Yeah, for this ground also, I think I downloaded like 6, 7 different passes of grounds. I think, yeah, and just combine them all. Oh, there's mod here.
Yeah, that's fun. So for the renders, yeah. So you posted, I tried this back in the day, the workflow you're doing, never to this level of success. Because honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if some people don't realize this is rendered in ZBrush, honestly, right? Because ZBrush is not known for rendering. So you
Mm.
got something that works for sure. So when I wanted to do renders that have different camera angles, like you're doing, I was trying to figure out a way to recreate the compositing. So are you doing anything clever there, or are you essentially, I would be surprised based on the rest of what you're saying, are you compositing each angle, mixing the layers, and then doing a paint over each view, or are you kind of building kind of a some kind of a smart stack that you can, you know what I mean,
Mm.
apply to all the different camera angles?
Yeah, so I set just cameras here for like, let's say 8 different angles.
Yep.
And then I do the same thing for each one. I have to get all those passes. The touch-ups in Photoshop are not major. It doesn't take that much time when you combine all those layers and you play with, contrast, colors. It's just there. So, and you just need maybe some touch-ups, small touch-ups that doesn't take
Yeah.
long. Yeah, the key for if you want to present your characters with just ZBrush renders, the key is to get all those layers here because when you combine all those in Photoshop, it just works like magic.
But you know, you do have to do opacity settings and blend modes, right? For all, you have like 10 stacked up. Are you doing those like in folders so that you can just go to the different camera angles? Like,
Yeah, I save all those cameras. Again, I export the alpha channel and take it to Photoshop and remove everything else.
yeah.
Just keep the actor, do the background in Photoshop, and yeah, I save those cameras to have it in just handy. Maybe I want to change the stuff. And for this, I did the renders in 8K. That's the maximum size ZBrush allows you to export. The ones I already have, if you take the full body, for example, if you zoom in, you can even see the eyes details. So it's really high resolution,
Yeah.
but you can't share it online because it doesn't allow that
Yeah.
quality. It just compresses things.
You like send me a link, dude. It'd be a good wallpaper. Okay, the rendering though, like with all this rendering in 8K, you know, letting ZBrush cook that up, switching to the next pass, cook that up, that times 12 times 3, 4 different camera angles. How long are you rendering? Are you setting aside a couple days there? Like how long you spend doing that? Making the
It's,
images essentially.
for ZBrush renders, it doesn't really take that long because even 8K, each pass maybe takes less than a minute. I don't know, maybe something like that. And then you just take those renders. That's what I like about it because then I can just play with colors and contrast in Photoshop. And just when I combine everything, I say, okay, maybe there should be more reflection in the eyes. I just do that in Photoshop. Or maybe I just want this shadow to be soft, to be, it
Mm-hmm.
look harsh. So I just do some paints on top of that. And these small, touches don't take much time. And even if you do the resolution in 8K, it's still quick. And you don't even have to do it in 8K. You can do it 4K.
Yeah.
And again, that will be great as well.
All right, cool. Well, to wrap up, let me ask you just a couple questions about this one. So, like, one thing is there anything about this project that you like sticks out to you that you would do differently? Either something you're not happy with, or something you're like, you know, if I did it over, I would do this differently.
Yeah, one is his sleeves.
Mm-hmm.
I spend a lot of time looking at the character, but I missed it. It's open in the show, but the way I made it was closed in the apples I showed you. For example, that's one thing I could mention because then I had to sculpt the whole part.
Yeah,
Uh,
and maybe change the model if it's open.
Yeah, exactly. And this is now different than the Apple's version I have. Again, something stitches. I finished it a in the post version. I could do it in Apple's because you can use this in for other projects as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so everything is now done here, but not there, which is fine because I can do it later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a little bit of workflow efficiency. All right. I think a question that's fun to ask artists is if you could give your younger self a piece of advice, what would it be? Maybe yourself 10, 15 years ago about art in general.
I would maybe say that you'll get there. Just have more patience and don't have that much stress. I told you I worked like crazy for a long time,
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm not. I don't regret it because I enjoyed it, but I had lots of stress sometimes. That can I get where I want to and stuff like that. Maybe what I would say to myself, I would say just chill. You will get there eventually.
Love
Mm.
that. I think that, like you say, it worked out, but it's. I'm really happy to see and hear, talk to you now where you're at, and the fact you found this balance, and it's so clear that this is a passion project and that you enjoy doing it. And like I say, there's something about it when I saw this project that it seemed like the culmination of everything you've been doing so far, and I'm happy to hear.
Yeah, I'm so
Do
glad you mentioned it
yeah,
because that was what I was aiming for.
yeah, great. I mean, it's an epic project, man. The friggin' duct tape, like on the screen, like as I'm talking, it's crazy. Well, cool. Do you already have an idea of what you're making next? I mean, you seem like someone's probably got a couple things cooking up, but are you already daydreaming about another project or anything, or you already know what you're gonna commit to next?
If you have time, I could share you something I worked on.
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is something I started actually. So this one, I was trying to make Lara Croft,
Ooh.
and yeah, this is the just the
Oh
beginning.
yeah.
I changed it a lot as I was moving
There's
forward.
Angelina Jolie eyes in there. There's some Angelina in there.
Yeah, but I changed it a lot. That's actually what I usually do. When I don't do likeness, I have more freedom. For example, this one, as we move forward, you see that it's changing a lot. Yeah, for example, here I do crazy edits,
Yeah, that's
really
good. That's cool.
edit stuff just to come up with the different shapes. Show
I
you
like it's the
how.
original Tomb Raider colors I saw from the shirt. I used to
Yeah,
play that game. I love that game.
yeah, this is how it looks right now. I'm not sure about it yet. I started this one before working on Joel, maybe 7, 8 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then back in the time I wasn't really passionate to finish it. I have a couple of projects like this that I'm planning to finish. And also I really want to make the other Joel as well
Yeah.
and finish everything in Marmoset and do some environment and stuff like that. That's gonna be crazy, but I myself can't wait to see that.
Yeah, no, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. Yeah, this is great. Epic. Yeah, anything that you got coming up that you'd want to share, like other than your art? I don't know if you have any projects or anything like that you wanted to get the word out on.
Yeah, I'm just trying to also be more active on social media, but not like crazy before. But
Yeah.
trying to maybe more in YouTube. Yeah, at least that's my plan to make more videos and see how it goes. But other than that, no, nothing special.
Yeah, well, great. I mean, I was going to mention, yeah, if you guys haven't already, obviously check out all of Hossein Diba's work on Instagram and our station. I'm sure you guys have seen, but in case people don't know, you have a YouTube channel. I've seen videos on there. You've been really generous already. You've got long form videos on there. You can see him sculpting. I think you guessed it on ZBrush's stream or something. I think you demoed, your process there. So yeah, been great. Just like today, sharing information and yeah. So check out that. I'll have those links down below. Go check out his work and videos. And yeah, thank you very much for your
Sure,
time. And
I
it
really
was
enjoyed,
yeah super fun to talk to you and hear.
so fun. Thanks for
Yeah,
having.
of course, man. It's a pleasure. And yeah, keep going. I'm happy to. You seem like you're in a great spot. You're just getting better and better. And yeah, man, it was great to talk to you. And thank you for everyone that's been watching or listening. And that's it for this one. And catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.